Millions of years ago, Earth was a place filled with giant creatures and hidden dangers. The Amazon rainforest was a place where danger lurked around every corner. The threat of deadly creatures hung heavy in the air, demanding respect from all who dared to venture into its depths. The indigenous people of the region had to develop exceptional skills and courage to survive in this unforgiving environment. They learned to track, hunt, and defend themselves against some of the most fearsome predators known to man. And among these predators, none were more feared than the giant snakes. Giant snakes were not just a part of the ecosystem, they were its apex predators. These gigantic reptiles dominated the rainforest, their massive bodies slithering through the dense undergrowth with ease. Their presence was a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the unforgiving nature of the world millions of years ago. For the indigenous people, these snakes represented a constant threat. Not only were they formidable hunters themselves, but they also posed a serious danger to the humans' food sources and livestock. It was a constant battle for survival, a struggle to protect their way of life from the jaws of these prehistoric monsters. To make matters worse, these snakes were not just physically imposing, they were also cunning and elusive. They could strike with lightning speed and disappear just as quickly, leaving their victims to deal with the aftermath. The challenge was not just physical, it was psychological. The fear of the unknown, the constant dread of the next encounter with a giant snake loomed over the lives of the indigenous people. It was a never-ending game of cat and mouse, a dance between predator and prey that played out in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. In the face of such danger, the indigenous people did not cower, they fought back. They developed their own strategies and tactics to hunt these giant snakes. It was a testament to their resilience, their determination to survive no matter the odds. But it was far from easy. Hunting these snakes was a risky endeavor. It required not only skill and precision, but also a deep understanding of the forest and its inhabitants. One wrong move could mean the difference between victory and defeat, between life and death. Despite the risks, the indigenous people persevered. They used their knowledge of the forest to track the snakes, following their footprints or signs of their presence. They developed tools and weapons specifically designed to take down these giant reptiles. It was a battle of wits and endurance, a test of human ingenuity against the raw power of nature. As the indigenous people closed in on their prey, the stakes became higher. The tension mounted, creating a dramatic showdown between man and beast. It was a fight to the death, a confrontation that would determine who would claim victory in this ancient jungle warfare. This is the story of those battles, the struggle for survival, the triumph of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of the indigenous people and their epic battles with giant snakes in the Amazon rainforest millions of years ago. Prepare to be amazed by their courage, astounded by their resourcefulness, and humbled by their tenacity in the face of danger. This is a story that will leave you in awe of the indomitable spirit of humanity. The indigenous people's existence was deeply intertwined with the rhythm of the rainforest. They lived in harmony with nature, respecting its cycles and drawing sustenance from its bounty. However, this idyllic way of life was constantly threatened by the very forces that sustained them. Among the most terrifying of these were the giant snakes that lurked in the rainforest. These were not ordinary snakes. No, these were colossal creatures whose mere presence struck terror into the hearts of even the most seasoned hunters. Their size alone was enough to evoke fear and awe. Imagine encountering a serpent so massive that it could coil around a tree trunk, its scales as big as shields, its eyes like glowing embers in the darkness. These giant snakes were not just physically imposing, they were also incredibly elusive and deadly. They moved through the dense undergrowth with a sinuous grace, their powerful bodies slithering over logs and rocks with ease. Their senses were acute, their hearing keen, their sense of smell so powerful that they could detect the scent of prey from miles away. And when they struck with the force of a thunderbolt. Their venom was a potent cocktail of toxins that could paralyze their victims in seconds, ensuring that no escape was possible. For the indigenous people, These encounters were more than just a test of their physical prowess. They were a battle of wills, a confrontation between two ancient forces, the untamed wilderness and the indomitable spirit of humanity. To survive in this environment, the indigenous people had to become one with the forest. They learned to read the signs, to understand the language of the trees and the whispers of the wind. They tracked the giant snakes, following their footprints or signs of their presence, always aware that they were being stalked by these deadly creatures. The indigenous people developed unique weapons and tactics to hunt these snakes. Some used blowgun darts coated with a paralyzing poison, while others crafted spears with sharp obsidian points. They knew every inch of the forest, using its own elements against its most fearsome inhabitants. But even with all their skill and cunning, hunting these snakes was a risky endeavor. It required not only physical strength and endurance, but also a cool head and steady nerves. One wrong move could mean the difference between success and disaster. As the indigenous people closed in on their prey, the tension would rise, creating a dramatic showdown between man and beast. The sight of a giant snake rearing up, its scales glistening in the sunlight, its forked tongue tasting the air, was enough to send shivers down the bravest soul. The ensuing battle was a test of both human and serpent strength, a display of primal power that left a lasting impression on those who witnessed it. But the indigenous people were not just fighting for their own survival. They were protecting their way of life, their very identity. The giant snakes represented a threat to everything they held dear, their families, their communities, their connection to the land. It was a battle not just for survival, but for the preservation of their culture and heritage. The indigenous people's courage in the face of such danger was nothing short of remarkable. They faced the giant snakes without flinching, their determination to protect their way of life driving them forward. Their bravery was evident in their actions, in their relentless pursuit of the snakes, in their unwavering commitment to defending their homes and loved ones. These were not just hunters, they were warriors, and they fought with the ferocity of those who had nothing to lose. Their tactics were a mix of strategy and instinct. They knew how to use the terrain to their advantage, how to anticipate the snakes' movements, how to exploit their weaknesses. They were masters of disguise, sometimes painting their bodies in camouflage patterns to blend in with the surroundings. They also understood the importance of teamwork, working together to surround and capture the snakes, each member of the group playing a vital role in the hunt. The battles were intense, a clash of brute strength and human determination. The giant snakes, with their massive coils and powerful jaws, were formidable opponents. But the indigenous people were not daunted. They fought back with spears, arrows, and traps, their weapons a testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. The forest became a battleground, the trees bearing silent witness to the struggles that unfolded beneath their branches. And in the end, it was often a matter of inches, a test of sheer willpower and endurance. The indigenous people's courage and skill in hunting giant snakes were not just a means of survival, they were a way of life. It was a tradition passed down from generation to generation, a legacy of bravery that continues to inspire awe and admiration today. Their stories are a reminder of the indomitable spirit of humanity, the courage and tenacity that enables us to overcome even the most daunting challenges. So let us celebrate the indigenous people, the fearless hunters of giant snakes, and marvel at their ability to thrive in the face of danger. Let their stories be a source of inspiration, a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. As you have seen, the indigenous people's relationship with the giant snakes was complex. They respected the snakes as powerful creatures, recognizing their role in the ecosystem, yet they were unafraid to confront them when necessary. They understood the balance of nature and knew that sometimes the only way to preserve that balance was to take a life. When the indigenous people did take down a giant snake, they did so with reverence. They used every part of the snake, wasting nothing. Its skin was used for clothing or crafting, its meat for nourishment, and its bones for tools and ornaments. Nothing was left behind except the shedding of the snake's skin, a reminder of the creature that once lived and the battle that was won. In many ways, the indigenous people's interaction with the giant snakes was a metaphor for their existence in the rainforest itself. They were small but resilient, strong and adaptable, always ready to face whatever challenges came their way. And in doing so, they ensured the continuation of their way of life in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. What do you think about the indigenous people's struggle for survival in the Amazon rainforest? How do you think they managed to endure the threat of giant snakes and other dangerous creatures? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos about prehistoric creatures.